Good morning, welcome to Morning Reviews on Wednesday, the 28th of September. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, it's just consolidating, and even more consolidation. There's little that seems to be moving it in any sort of trend aside of a sideward trend. And well, we put in a daily pivot swing, bearish pivot swing. So a break of yesterday's lows would really trigger that signal, and potentially see us with further downside. Uh, but these markets are relatively choppy. It's quite a long time now until the next presidential debate. I think it was 9th of October. I was reading recently, so there's nothing like that to come into play. So we are quite limited in terms of what actually is going to be driving. There's little in the way of significant news. Just checking today's news. We've got core durable goods this afternoon, US figures, which might give us a bit of volatility. And we've got Yellen testifying before the Committee on Financial Services in Washington. But much of what she'll be saying, most likely, has already been said. So um, whether we'll get much volatility around 3, we'll see. And there's various other speakers after 3 o'clock, so they'll be due to deliver just opening marks at St. Louis conference. Okay, so and Draghi due to be speaking about current developments in the euro area in German. Okay, so well, between 3:30, there's enough speakers there to be creating some volatility maybe this afternoon. A little else out. Well, certainly nothing out this morning. So we'll be just left to the technicals. And as I say, they're erring on the bearish side from what I can see here. From a 4 hourly perspective, we put a bearish Harami in, that's been followed through, and well, it's just going nowhere at the moment. We've got an untouched daily pivot above, which I'd like to see that hit ideally. However, if it breaks the low side here and runs down towards the 200 and the weekly pivot again, if it breaks that sort of level, I'd be looking for the yesterday's lows, then the S1. There'll be orders around yesterday's lows sitting there, but there would be sort of the targets. There's not a lot of meat on the bone with the euro at the moment. We sat there yesterday in different short positions for a long time, it seemed, and well, they took a long time before anything really happened. And some of these, like there's only sort of 10 pips there. There's 40 pips, I think it was, or less. Looking for the bigger move. No, 46 pips. So that was probably a great move relatively. So euro short time, right? Okay, cable. Looking at the pitch here, a little bit more bullish, erring that way. It's already caught its daily pivot. It's sort of fighting the move at the moment. It bounced nicely off the daily pivot here. It's whether or not it can break this hourly 200 and get above that. Well, then I would be bullish. Watching yesterday's highs, of course, and well, then we got possible targets R1, maybe more. At least we're getting some bang for the buck on when it's moving. Yesterday it gave us the break of the trend there, which moved down. Didn't move down quite as far as I thought it would. I expected a bit more of a move, but it did actually move down there. But today, well, there's the potential for the break of the, as I say, the 200. If it gets above that, and maybe I'd be patient and wait for the break of yesterday's highs before I really got into any sort of long positions, and then look up for the R1. But a downside plan just in case 21 moving average needs to be broken, and possibly even breaking below the daily pivot, and then I'll look at the bearish side of things, watching out though, of course, because we'll have the support coming in the likes of the 34 and the 50 MAs. But if this, as I say, if it fails here, well, you've got to look for the alternative plan, and maybe a bigger retrace could occur back to the S1. Little to drive, and that's the problem. In a sense, we like to see a bit of something that we could work off of. Yen moved down nicely yesterday for a good part of the day, and then we saw a rally through the later session, early Asian session here. We've rallied through. It's to me, it's still got the potential. It keeps on flirting with that 100 area, 100.10 at the moment, double bottomed yesterday. Where's it going to go then? Well, it's already hit the daily pivot. I would like to, I quite like the short opportunities on it, and it's done it again. There's a bit of divergence, or not tradable divergence off the top highs here. If it starts selling off and breaks the pivot, maybe there's an opportunity to look for the short side. It does seem to be in a bit of a pattern at the moment, which is a bit worrying because as soon as I say this, it'll stop. But if you look at the last few days, it's sold off on sort of post 8 o'clock. It's been selling off, so on the 8 o'clock candle, that's the one to watch. If it's going to be start breaking through these levels, we could get it back down to the yesterday's midi. And if it gets a decent move, maybe the lows in the S1 daily S1. Aussie dollar. Had to remember to watch it though. Aussie dollar continuing to try and push up. Good day yesterday in a sense. Not quite a spinning top, but one of those candles that make you wonder. And well, we got the potential for it to run into its monthly R1. It's potential for it to run into the weekly R1. Yet to touch its weekly pivot rather. In any sort of longer sell-off I would be looking at as a target, but at the moment it's erring towards the bullish side. It's above its 21 moving averages here, untouched pivot below. So, well, if it breaks the 21, then it looks like it may come for the pivot. It's already touched the 34, tested the 34.50 before, so they're null and void in effect. Hasn't quite got up to well, daily R1's way up there, but any sort of shovel may push it up that way. The moment you've got to be more bullish than bearish with it unless things change there. And finally, the Canadian dollar. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quick look at oil. Now, the meetings, there's a lot of focus on these meetings in Algiers. And it may be that we suddenly or eventually get something that's a bit more bullish or coming out of that at the moment. Well, it's up, down, up, down. Currently down today, and that's the bit of the pattern here at the moment. There's talks that they're not agreeing, then they might agree, and well, anything that comes out of it later in the week here, if you see any sort of agreement, we could see oil fly, and which case that will bring the CAD down. Now, I was looking for a close above that 200 yesterday to become really bullish on the Canadian dollar, and it never made it. It couldn't hold on to it. Again, it was not a tradable divergence for me with the RSI here, but certainly there was a divergence between these two highs, and it's rolled over, and it's looking weak from that perspective. And a break of perhaps if we see oil start shoving and we see a break of these, there's a sort of a trend lows here, more recent lows from 10 o'clock yesterday through. Maybe we start seeing a breakdown there. We could see yesterday's lows, the 200, and then maybe the S1 hit. So that's pretty much it. As I say, news-wise, we're quite limited. Actually, we have got crude oil inventories out at 330, which again may give a bit of volatility around that point. So there's plenty of potential volatility at 1:30, then 3 o'clock onwards through to 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock. We'll see some price action. Right, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.